I have a little hierarchy. I think everybody's born a skeptic. And so after the first hour, you're a skeptic and you think maybe it's too good to be true, or the government will ban it, or it'll get hacked, or it's a gimmick. And then after 10 hours, you start to believe, oh, it's an asset. Maybe it's a good asset or a bad asset, but then you get upgraded from kind of skeptic to a trader. And you'll trade, like if it's cheap, I'll buy it, and if it's expensive, I'll sell it, but I'm just going to trade it. It's something like soybeans or like oil or like bushels of corn. At the 100-hour point, you think you become an investor. At that point, you think, wow, this is like Facebook for money, like a bank in cyberspace where people can put their money. Or I can send money from New York to Tokyo without an intermediary, or I can put money there and leave it there for 30 years. You know, I made a lot of money on Apple, or I made a lot of money on Amazon, or if you made money on Microsoft or Google, and if I said, hey, this is the big tech digital monetary network, it's just another big tech investment. After about 100 hours, you're like, okay, well, that sounds like a good idea. My belief is, the way I made money in big tech investments is I find something everybody needs, nobody can stop, and most people don't understand. If you bought Amazon stock in 2010, it was everybody needs it, nobody can stop it, but everybody disagreed with you. If you bought Amazon stock in 2020, everybody needed it, everybody understood it, and everybody agreed with you. Mm-hmm. You see the difference? You don't want to buy it when everybody understands it and everybody agrees with you. You want to buy Apple in 2011 when everybody's going to need it and nobody can stop it, but most people think the iPhone's only going to be worth $60. So that's the investor idea. You get there about 100 hours. And then in 1,000 hours, we say, you become a maximalist. At that point, you say, wait a minute, this is, it's not a company. It's better than a big tech investment because it's not a security. You're not supporting Apple or Google. You're providing property rights to 8 billion people. You're providing freedom, integrity, property rights to 300 million companies, every country, every person on the planet. You know, rich people in New York own buildings, but taxi cab drivers in Nigeria don't own buildings in New York City. If I had $137 in Nigeria, I can't even buy $137 worth of a New York building. So you can see the rich New Yorkers have an advantage over the working class in Africa. But with Bitcoin, if you buy $237 of Bitcoin in Nigeria, you have the same property rights as a billionaire in New York or London that buys $1 billion of Bitcoin. You're pari passu. You're not a limited partner. You don't own a security. You own the actual property. If you went and you bought $10 million worth of real estate in Zambia, Central Africa, there's nothing that I'm going to do in the United States that's going to increase the value of your property in Zambia, Central Africa. But on the other hand, if you bought $10 million of Bitcoin in Zambia, Central Africa, then somebody in Singapore with a Bloomberg terminal who's trading $20 billion a weekend is driving up the value of your property in Zambia, Central Africa. So when you join the Bitcoin network, you're getting the highest common denominator. The smartest, richest person anywhere in the world is working to make you wealthier. And when you buy a building, a warehouse in Alabama, or when you buy a building in rural China, that's the lowest common denominator. There's 0.01% of the people in rural China that might do something that might make your building more valuable, but nobody else cares. And so when you get to 1,000 hours, you think, wait a minute, this is an ethical imperative, right? This is an instrument of economic empowerment for everyone on Earth, every company on Earth, every country on Earth, every institution on Earth, every family on Earth. It is really a singularity because it's the first time in human history where you can convey actual property rights to an individual that cannot be taken from them via force. And I think that's a profound idea.